Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? You in the cheap seats and you in the front seats that you paid way too much for because you think you're going to get busy with that young lady tonight. Got news for you, bud. Got news for you, bud. Not happening. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It is time for another episode of This Week in UGA Football, Season 2, Episode 34. 34 of God only knows how many more we're going to do because we're here each and every week, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, or whatever day of the week that we're on. I am one half of the show, your co-host, all the way from Oklahoma City in the heart of tornado land. Mr. Fingaz coming to you live from Athens, Switzerland. That guy over there, he is the brother from another, the sexy mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place, in your face. I am very happy to be here. I have just been placed in charge of garbage. Do you have any that requires disposal? That man right there is Collin P. from the DMV, talking SEC, Athens, Georgia, that doesn't rhyme with anything that rhymes with SEC, on the internet, which ends with T, with me to talk to thee. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, man, I'm doing just absolutely wonderful. Getting pumped up for this weekend. It's going to be an awesome game, awesome atmosphere. Kind of scared, a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, you know how it is. But been good so far. How about yourself?
Oh man, dude, I'm running on a whole hour and a half of sleep since yesterday.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, caffeine and a bang 5-hour drink. It's gonna be an interesting show today. Can you tell?
You know what I did? I noticed you posted something on Facebook really early this morning, and I was like,
yes, sir.
Insomnia.
I had a project that I committed to having out the door, and I wanted to make sure I had it out the door. So that's what we do. Now we do have a very special guest backstage that will be joining us a little bit later. He's checking out the show from the green room right now. He'll be joining us a little bit later on. You can probably see his name in the crawl. So we kind of gave that away. I should have thought about that before I put that in the crawl, but it's okay. I'll go ahead and tell you, we have a Volunteers fan. He is the host of the SEC Power Hour on the SEC Super Conference group on Facebook. His name is Randy Jowers. He's a really cool dude, and y'all should check that show out. Come on over to the SEC Super Conference group and check us out because we have the Power Hour is really good. So anyway, bro, we're gonna go ahead and get right on into this. That's Collin P from the DMV. I'm Mr. Fingaz. Let's just go ahead and get on into it, man. Let's get into it. Let's make it happen. Captain. Last Saturday, 100th meeting or 101st, depending on who you ask, of the Dogs and the Gators. Dogs wound up reigning victorious. The Gators kind of made it tight for a little bit in the first part of the second half. I'm not going to lie to you. When I looked and I saw what the halftime score was, my butthole clenched up a little bit, just a little teensy bit.
Yep.
And of course, the commentator had to say, "Yeah, right now Georgia's leading Florida 28-3." Of course, Falcons fans won't like that. Like just right after, I'm like, okay, throw the whole program away. I'm just gonna watch this on my app.
We'll never get rid of that. We'll never hear the end of 28-3. I don't think. Even if we win the Super Bowl, man, I don't think we'll ever.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll be all right. We will be all right. So the boys look good. They came out hard. I think the week off did them some good. I still think that there's some focus. There's some issues with some focus, as you can see.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our foot on their neck the entire first half, and they came back and we let them score 20 points. Now, granted, we wound up winning by still more than 20 points. We still wound up winning by 3 scores, but we may or may not have a game against a team that I heard is kind of good. I mean, their choice of uniforms and color might not be my favorite, but I heard they're supposed to be pretty good. And those are not the guys you want to go to sleep on. So,
No, not at
um,
all. And it was eerily reminiscent of how we had played like previous years. We kind of played good the first half, and then we kind of settled back and did that little we're just not gonna lose this game. The third quarter. That's what it looked like to me. But I mean, then it showed me some promise that they came back and actually scored more points, and it looked like it did light a little bit of a fire under them after a couple of
yeah.
ill-timed turnovers and that kind of stuff, and the interception by Bennett and that kind of stuff, and McIntosh for that fumble. And but man, did you see him come back after that fumble? Did you see him running?
Came
He
back
ran.
with a vengeance. He came
Oh
back
my
mad.
God.
He came back running mad. I'm just saying.
He
Well,
ran.
I mean, the game.
What Kirby said, he ran pissed off. Like Kirby said, he came back in and ran. He said, "Give me the ball again. Give me the ball again." He ran pissed off, and he was doing his job.
Oh, he 100% did. And some folks that we know that live strictly to just dog the dogs. Wow, there's a turn of phrase. There's an eloquent turn of phrase there, Mr. Handy. Some folks that love the dogs are like, here go the dogs again. But McIntosh came back out, and just like our dear friend Mr. Raymond said, he said, "Oh, you think I'm gonna let that fumble bother me? Well, guess what? He came out and he did the doggone thing." So that's Brock Bowers and the other thing. But you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. Let's just go ahead and get into it like we like to do. Let's break it down like we do. So let's talk about the good. I'm going to let you go first, sir. What you got?
I was in the running game. Like we ran the ball quite a bit. We had good, quite a bit yards on both sides. I mean, like running the ball and passing the ball. I think Bennett had 300 some yards or so. We had 554, I think, total offense or something like that. But the good is, the resiliency, the in the face of adversity, those turnovers were ill-timed. We came back and didn't let that bother us. They came back and we scored more points, which was good to see because, I mean, we definitely need – I mean, those miscues are going to happen. You've got to come back from them. And that showed me that we can actually do that. We're definitely going to need that next week.
Yeah, 100.
This week.
That's a 100 right there. That one right there gets the air horn. Yes, indeed. So for those of you that are new to the show, thank you for joining and watching This Week in UGA Football. I am Mr. Fingaz. That's my co-host, Collin P. We are here each and every week. If you're watching right now and you're new, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Tell them that the two crazy guys from Georgia are on here talking about Georgia football. Funny how that coincidence kind of sort of happens. What I have for the what I have for the good, Brock Bowers.
Yep.
Brock Bowers has been on the side of a milk carton for several weeks. I mean, he's been out there. There's been some guy out there that looked like him and moved like him, but it's not quite him. It was like some watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But they finally turned it around and they said, we're going to feed the ball to Brock. And Brock Bowers did what Brock Bowers does best: catch balls and run, and show off his athleticism. I didn't really put in a play of the game segment this week, but if there was any play of the game, there was that juggled ball. I mean, man, listen, I'm gonna listen, Skip. I'm just gonna have to tell you something. Brock Bowers is a big, imposing man. He looked like he worked for something. He looked like he worked for a contractor company. He's built like an offensive tackle. He run like Randy Moss, and he's got hands like Randy Moss. That man caught that ball. He played hot potato for 10 yards down the field, still managed to bring it in, did a pirouette, did a Prince split, and then ran across the goal line to score the touchdown. That's why Brock Bowers is my 100% UGA player of the week, Skip Bayless. That's what I'm saying today. There we go.
Man, that was an awesome catch. You saw his eyes on the ball the whole way, like him and that defensive back.
Well, hold on. If you go back and you watch that slow motion, he reached back. He hadn't turned his head around yet. He kind of hit the ball on his hand and still was bobbling it as he turned around, caught it, and then did a 360 in the opposite direction and down the field. Or at least that's the way it looked. That's the way I imagined it in my mind. I might have had a black and mile or two and a little bit of hen dog. Says Club Shay Shay, we do something before do something, but that's what we do. So Brock Bowers, that is my play of the game. Also the run game. Good God. Not just your boy McIntosh, but Bijan Edwards is really starting to emerge as the guy
Yeah.
in the backfield. Bijan Edwards is like, he's just real subtle steps. Skirt, you miss me. Skirt, you miss me. Oh, you gonna tackle me? Give me your ankles. Shout out to Chisel Adonis. I don't want to steal your bit, bro, but I can't do it nearly as good as he can. But yeah, so those are the.
Hey, we can't forget about Robinson though. We can't forget about Robinson. He came in there
Oh.
when he got the ball. He was running.
Oh yeah, and he knocked a couple of heads. I'm kind of worried about him though, bro. The way he runs, he might catch himself a bad one before too long. So he's got to definitely work on his running technique, especially in the SEC. The way these cats hit, and we playing Tennessee next week. We got Tennessee, we got Kentucky after that. I don't have to go into the rest of the schedule, but we got some. Every game after this is a must win. But that's our good. Let's move into our bad. Focus. Once again, focus. Pretend that you are the world's most premier photographer and you have an old-fashioned camera, not the smart one where you hit the touch screen and it makes all the adjustments for you like the iPhone 14. The T-Mobile says everybody wants. T-Mobile, I got news for you. I got an Android. I don't want an iPhone 14. How do I do like my phone and say I want to see less of this in my news feed like Facebook? I don't want to see that commercial no more. Especially the one brother running with the bad Jerry curl, looking like old school Charlie Murphy in the Dave Chappelle skits. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But the bad focus. The defense needs to focus. Like when the defense is 100% on, it's 100% on. It's not even at its greatest. Is not as good as last year's defense. But when those boys are focused and they are locked in, you're not getting anything by them. They might give you a little something, but they're going to make you go 4 and out. You might throw something downfield, but I guarantee you, Malachi Starks is nasty. We're going to file him under the good too. But when they lose focus, and again, we have a team that is coming to Athens next week that we cannot afford to make those kind of mistakes against. What do you have for your bad, sir?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, and I'll go ahead and say it again. It looked like we kind of got a little complacent there after halftime because I mean we were at the 21-3. And you got complacent. And it was played. It looked like we were playing cover and that kind of stuff, playing zone. And I was like, man, no, we don't need to do that. You play to win, not play to lose. I mean, like it's just play to win, don't play not to lose. Is what I'm trying to say. But I mean, it seemed like it was really reminiscent of the years past where that's what we used to do all the time. So I mean, and that's why we let other teams kind of
that's what I like to call, and God bless him because I love him, and he definitely was the coach that took a team that was going in the wrong direction and started to turn the car around. Okay, Mark Richt, God bless him. It's because of Mark Richt that this program was in the condition that it was in, that Kirby could take it and be able to rebuild it so quickly. I think, I don't know who else could have done that. It's been a while, so I don't even know who really was coaching outside of the major coaching names at that time. But that was the Mark Richt philosophy: play not to lose. Not it wasn't.
And we're going to need him more. We're going to need him more than ever since since Nolan Smith's going to be out. Like he's going to be out. It looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the year. So we need.
Come on, man. Wait. Hold on. Let's be real about something for a minute. I was turned on to Nolan Smith when I heard he was going to Georgia because he's a homeboy, and by homeboy I don't necessarily mean that he and I are cousins by virtue of our chocolatey brown hue. I mean a homeboy in that he is from my hometown of Savannah, Georgia. Originally was going to Savannah Christian and then transferred to IMG Academy, the football factory. But let's be real about something, man. I like Nolan Smith. He's a big, imposing dude, and he will give you at least he always gets a highlightable play every game. Mm-hmm. But if you watch the rest of the game, he's not giving you those highlightable plays. Like he's not necessarily flushing guys out of pocket. I've seen him struggling. The Missouri game, I saw him struggle a little bit against that.
Oh, that was a big struggle,
yeah. And he's supposed to be a premier player. I mean, I'm not trying to dog you, Nolan. Please, by all means, get well soon. Every piece of the puzzle helps, and trust me. Like, think of it this way: if that was the one tackle, if he played the national championship, and I don't know, I can't remember who it was that made the sack, but you play it in the national championship. Let's say you get that sack on Bryce Young to end the game, and that's the only play you made all season. It is still a play that contributes to winning the national championship. But is he really going to be missed that much? Especially since we got the oh Lord, he's back. That's all I can say.
Jalen.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jalen.
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
No.
I kept wanting to say Coach Carter, but that's like Coach is not his first name.
Well, no, I mean, it would be, in my opinion, it'd be better to have both of them. You know what I'm saying? Have both of them feel that now that he is back. You know what I'm saying? So have them both out there. So I mean, I still, in my mind, I don't know if Jalen is actually 100%. You know, he was out there. I don't think he was. I mean, he was on a couple plays, but I mean, he was kind of being, you know, walking around a little gingerly out there. I don't think he was actually 100. You know, going full speed. But at the same point, you know, I'd rather have both of them than, you know. But I mean, I think we're don't make no mistake. But I mean, don't make the mistake that I think we'll be all right with just Jalen. But I mean,
yeah,
it'll be good to have both of them.
Yeah, we got some folks. Let's get to some of these comments here before we get moving. And for some reason, you're only showing up as Facebook user. And of course, I went to YouTube to try and look and see who the comments were from. So we do have a hello here from Kate. Hi, Kate. Thank you for watching. Kate, one of the lovely ladies on the Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover show, which will be on Thursday night. You really should check it out. It's a very good show.
Definitely check it out.
It looks like we got some Vols fans in the building. They showed up for our guest there, Randy. Randy, you got some fans out here, brother. If we're gonna let you come out and talk to them in just a little bit. Bowers is the best tight end and should be used often. I 100% agree with that. And this one is I'd never actually seen your show before. This is legit. Thank you so much. That must be somebody that strictly knows me. If you're in the comments and I shouted you out because your comment is up here, please let me know who you are, because for some reason the app is not letting me know who you are, and I'm trying to do the show at the same time and navigate to Facebook to see who you are. But thank you all for watching. If you're enjoying yourself, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Let your people know that we are here on This Week in UGA Football. I am Mr. Fingaz. That is Collin P from the DMV, and we were talking good, bad, and ugly. That's LSU Scott giving us a compliment. Appreciate that, Scott. Oh, that's another one of our guys from the SEC Power Conference group. You can find them on Facebook. They're an awesome group. Go check them out. We were talking the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think, did you do the bad? Yeah, I did my bad. What's your bad, sir?
No, that's what I was saying. We got complacent in the second half. I mean, that was my bad.
Okay.
Playing not to lose.
He's like, yeah, just playing and not being complacent. That was my bad. That's it. It's like, okay. Well, let's talk about this. Did we really see anything really ugly other than the fact that we're losing Nolan?
Well, I mean, saw a bad fumble obviously with McIntosh, but he came back and redeemed himself with that one. A couple bad decisions by Stetson. We can't afford to have any more of those. I mean, like I think he was throwing behind people and he was trying to force stuff too much from what I saw. And he seemed to have gotten better from not doing that kind of stuff. But I mean, it seemed like he was trying a little bit too hard to fit balls through too tight.
Yeah.
And so definitely don't even be doing that, because I mean, like the Tennessee boys will grab that and take it to the house
and be gone. They will be gone like Debo with red chain.
Orange fire.
Yeah. They will be gone like Debo was gone with red chain. My grandmama gave me that chain. That's something you definitely don't want to do. You know what? Hey, check this out real quick. We got a little bit of an exclusive here. There we go. There's the air horn. We got a little bit of an exclusive here. I got some found footage, from Saturday's game. They interviewed one of the sideline coaches, not Kirby, because Kirby was already gone in the locker. They interviewed one of the sideline coaches for Florida, and they asked him what he thought about their performance so far. And he kind of looked around to make sure that Coach Napier was going to the locker room. And this is what he had to say.
Opportunities there in that first half, but you're only down by 4. What was your message?
We can't play any worse than that, I don't think. I mean, it's my first game. Maybe we can.
I kid. For those of you that are watching, I'm totally kidding. I'm completely kidding. That is not as Uncle Lou calls him, Sunbelt Billy. We love using our video clips here, so we love putting them to good use. But wait a minute, hold on. We have another insider video here, real quick. Yeah, we got a Tennessee insider. Randy, you got somebody else somebody else from Big Orange Nation We interviewed him and asked him what he thought about what the Vols' chances were against the Dogs on Saturday and how they felt about going into Sanford Stadium. And ladies and gentlemen, another exclusive.
Ain't nobody worried about no Georgia.
I'm loving. I'm on it today, boy. We are on fire. He's on fire. Remember NBA Jam? Oh, he's on fire. That's where we are today. Man, dude, we're having way too much fun today. But that's what it should be all about. We should be having fun.
Well,
we should be having fun. Yeah, we do have fun, but like it's like the vibe is. I mean, we're like rocking and rolling and reeling today, man. Not that we don't.
I think it's the weekend. I think the game this week has gotten everybody fired up, and we got our good.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's me operating on 1.5 hours of sleep is what it is.
Well, that could be.
That's what it is. Listen, I used to DJ. For those of you that don't know me like that, which is how I met Collin. I used to do weddings and karaoke. He was a regular at my one of my karaoke shows. And when I got to a certain amount of alcohol, past a certain level of exhaustion, that was when Mr. Fingaz, the mad karaoke DJ, came out. You didn't know if I was going to break dance or tell jokes or do a wardrobe change or come out and stand in front of the fan singing Michael Jackson and flap out my jacket and go, ah! It didn't matter. It's something was going to happen.
Minister and entertainer, you'd be a minister. You'd throw out a sermon.
Not a sermon, just a thought, ladies and gentlemen. Just a thought.
That's right.
So we're going to keep the show moving on here. So basically what it boils down to, ladies and gentlemen, that was, we wound up pulling it out. We don't have to tell you how it went. You guys saw the score. Wound up winning by 3 scores. We do have some tightening up to do. And wait a minute. I got to go back. I got one I forgot under the good. Remember, you and I have been talking for the last few weeks about how we have not seen the real Kirby Smart. The jumping up and down on the sidelines, Kirby Smart. The pulling his headset off, Kirby Smart. The shouting at the referees, Kirby Smart. The fire and brimstone, Kirby Smart. Like, do you know what Kirby Smart reminds me of when he gets worked up on the sidelines?
What's that?
Sam Kinison.
Oh, yeah. oh, yeah.
All day. Did you see Kirby? Did you see Kirby?
Yeah.
I sent you the clip. I won't repeat what it was that he said. So after last year, they learned not to have Kirby on the hot mic. Don't turn that satellite over there. He's gonna cuss. They caught him. They caught him in slow motion. They caught a slow motion shot of him after a touchdown, and it had some reference about "Boom goes the dynamite," except it was the second half of it was something else.
Boom shakalaka, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what we'll go with. Yeah. But that's the Kirby Smart that I want to see, because when Kirby's fired up, those boys get fired up. So I don't know. It might be a thriller in Manila come this Saturday in Athens. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Either way.
Yeah. So anyway, anything else to add to this before we go into our break, sir?
No, I pretty much cut dry. Then what we did, we handled business, which I was happy about. You know, that was one of the games we had to get through, so we got through it pretty well. So on to the next one.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I was going to give a shout out to our sponsor, but that's a little bit of a short ad. So while I got you folks here, those of you that are new and those of you that are watching for the first time and those of you that are repeat offenders, as we like to call you, we do have quite the slate of shows in the Let's Talk Football family of shows. And here is where you can find each and every one of them. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is where you can find every single solitary program in the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts. There's a lot of them. I can't even really remember them all anymore. I just know that we're on this one. And since from the time they made the promo, we are now This Week in UGA Football. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This Week in UGA Football, episode 34 of season 2. Mr. Fingaz here. Collin P there. We just got done talking about University of Georgia versus Florida. But you know what? There's something getting ready to take place this coming Saturday. Collin, do you know what it is?
No, I mean, I think it's something somewhat of a big deal. So they're saying, and it's especially since the college football playoff picture came into play. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. We'll get into that a little bit later. You got a little bit ahead of me there. Well, no, you fine. Sometimes I say that to Collin and I feel like I'm chastising him. My bad, bro. That's my dog.
I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business. I'm just trying,
So essentially, let's go ahead. Well, we'll wait till we bring our guest on. Ladies and gentlemen, this coming Saturday, we are expecting the undefeated Volunteers of Tennessee from Knoxville, Rocky Top, Neyland Stadium. Oh, man, you know what?
Depending on
never mind. No. Don't you do it. We're welcoming in the Volunteers. They are undefeated. We are undefeated. We're both in the East. This game could determine who goes on to face the winner of the West for the SEC championship. That's right, y'all. It's getting ready to go down. And folks started talking about it early in the season. I said, I need to see a couple more games. And then they kept winning. And I said, well, okay, that was pretty good. I know Hendon Hooker was pretty good. And I said, I need to see some more. And then it was like, all right, then they won another one. I said, I need to see some more. And then they beat Alabama, and Wyatt got he caught for like 878 yards on 3 catches.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there watching the TV like Eddie Murphy back in 1984, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. So anyway, I got jokes, but that's definitely going down this weekend. Tickets are through the roof. Expectations are high. And I'm looking forward to this game. So, and here to join us today, ladies and gentlemen, coming in from the green room and the SEC Super Conference Facebook group, Tennessee Vols fan and subject matter expert on all things Big Orange, Randy Jowers. How you doing, brother?
What's up? I'm glad. I didn't want to get too ahead of things. I was going to introduce myself as what number was in front of my team's name, but we'll save that for you.
I got a question. Are you guys actually the real UT now? You guys are real UT?
Let me tell you something. Collin, the only reason Texas is a state is because of the state of Tennessee, so they can thank us anytime they want to. Yes, we are the real UT.
There you go.
Remember the Alamo. Thank your Tennessee Vols.
Hey, look, Randy, I don't know. I know somebody that might have something to say about that. He just got a text in. You know, sometimes we got a text line, and sometimes they send us videos. We just got this one in response to your.
We're back.
Hey, got a little some lane, baby.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. He got a start this weekend, didn't he? He might be back. Well, he might be back. At least he's getting a check. So I can't say nothing. I tease him. He's making more money sitting on a bench getting splinters in his butt than I'm getting on my 9 to 5. So I can't hate on it too bad. So what's going on with you, man?
Man, it's good. And I heard you guys pronouncing the name of our stadium. And I've never heard it pronounced like that. It's Neyland Stadium.
Well, that's because y'all was kneeling to the supremacy of the dogs for all these years. Did you see what I did there?
Look. Let me tell you something, Mr. Anthony. We've been down a long time.
Why you sound like Bernie Mac? I've been black a long time. I'm here to tell you.
Well, I mean, I can't. Look, it's this booming good voice, man. I don't know what to tell you, man.
So
I'm worried.
Like I said before, Randy, everybody's seen it. They be lying about it, but I mean, y'all constantly getting better.
No doubt.
They tell you they haven't, then they lying to you. So I've seen it.
I will tell you this: 100%, no straight, no chaser. Tennessee looks really good this year. I mean, I wasn't even surprised. Well, actually, I wasn't even surprised that Tennessee was ranked number 1. I'm okay with number 3. I don't like being in the number 1 slot. I have never liked being in the number 1 slot ever since 2017.
Yeah.
That year we got ranked number 1. We went to Jordan Hare and got whopped.
Yeah.
And it was only because we came back and won the conference championship and beat Auburn and beat them badly. My grandmama gave me that chain. Yeah. So that we made it into the national championship. So ever since then, I've been okay with not being number 1. I'm okay with being number 2 or number 3. The only problem with being number 3 is there ain't a lot of wiggle room there. If you slip a little bit, you might drop to 4. If you slip real hard, you might drop to 5.
Yeah, that's what I was telling somebody earlier. With Tennessee, the advantage of being number 1 is if they lose to Georgia, you probably don't fall outside of the top 5. You lost to the number 3 team. So it gives you a little bit more wiggle room to meet back. And then if you think about it, we've seen this happen before with Alabama. If Tennessee does lose, they don't have to play in the SEC title game. One of those teams loses again. Tennessee's really sitting in the catbird seat, just waiting on whoever comes out of that.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't mind. It's not going to be all doom and gloom if Georgia finds a way to win, because they should, right? Favored by 8.5, defending national champ. You got all these things on your side. You did lose a lot of talent, but I think that you still have the best team in the country. And until you get knocked off the throne, you're still the king. But I mean, Tennessee is not going to come in there, bowing at your feet, kneeling to Georgia supremacy.
All right. See, I got it going already. Got it going already. So you know what? We're gonna get into some of the other segments that we have here for this part of the show, but let's I'm gonna give you a question, and I see my wife wants something at the door, so I'm gonna have to run and go see what she wants real quick. But tell us about some of the things that you have been impressed most about, without using Hendon Hooker, because we already know what he can do, about Tennessee this season. And I'm gonna let you go ahead, and I'm gonna give you the floor. You and Collin chop it up. I'll find out what's going on here. I'll be right.
Bet. So first thing is, Collin, me and you talked about it. It's Josh Heupel coming in on what he came in on. It's a dumpster fire. Jeremy Pruitt had been fired for whatever it was, and they had that whole legal situation going on. Over 30 players enter the transfer portal. They leave. They're going to Alabama. They're all over the news, right? So Josh Heupel gets hired immediately. Tennessee fans, for the most part, the loudest ones, they hated the hire. Danny White's hiring his buddy. This is a terrible hire. His offense regresses every year that he goes there. Josh Heupel hears all that. He comes in at a good price, comes in and immediately goes to work. Plays really well in the first pit game when they played him at Neyland. Doesn't win that game, but they were competitive. And so then as the season gone on, that offense got better, didn't end the way they wanted to, but you saw a lot of improvement. A 7-win team go to a bowl, which was a market improvement after anything we saw from Jeremy Pruitt. So coming into year 2, everybody said, okay, well, next step is going 8, 9. If best season, it could be 10. And now we're sitting here. I'm going to say it. We're number 1 in the college football rankings, in the playoff rankings. And for him to do this in year 2 this is really the blessing and the curse, though, right, guys? Because you don't see coaches getting any kind of time to build things right, because you have guys like Heupel, and he's not the first one to ever do it. I'm not saying that by any means, but immediate success like this and what he was able to do. And that's why I'm most impressed with him, is because Hendon Hooker, I wasn't going to name his name, but this guy was sitting on the bench at Virginia Tech. He wasn't playing. He transfers over to Tennessee. He still wasn't playing. Joe Milton beat him out of the job, and deservedly so. Joe Milton was the better quarterback. Comes in really by injury, by default, and Josh Heupel has turned Hendon Hooker into what we're seeing today. Shout out to Hendon for doing what he's doing. But this offense, if you're looking at like the game the other day and against Alabama, Jalen Hyatt, it's like if you're watching that scheme, the other day it was a really quick thing. They switched and got a linebacker, 2 DBs to switch up. Cedric Tillman coming back. He goes on a slant. Jalen Hyatt walks into the end zone. That's scheme. That's just a simple switch to make the linebacker bite. So what I've been most impressed with is not only Josh Heupel, but the offensive coordinator. And I'm going to shout out Tim Banks, too. Everybody hates on Tennessee's defense, and they showed up in a big way last Saturday night. And I think making a couple of adjustments, also getting 2 DBs back, I think really is going to pay dividends. But what I'm most worried about, you talk what I was most impressed about, what I'm most worried about is the first true road test, because they went down to LSU and Tennessee fans filled up half the stadium. They will not do that in Athens, Georgia. I know this. Been there twice. dedicated fan base. Not that LSU wouldn't, but maybe it was 11 a.m. They were still drunk in their car. I'm not sure.
Probably so.
But the game was a blowout before it ever got started, right? So the crowd never got into it. But that's what I'm most impressed with.
The drunk in their car.
Yeah.
They were drunk before they got in their cars to go to the stadium.
Hey, you know what? I ain't hating on it. I've been known to do that a few times, but Tennessee showed up at 11 a.m., had brunch, drank a mimosa, and got on back to Knoxville with a 40-13 drubbing.
There you go. There you go. Well, I got another question for you. So since you guys are number one, how do you think that's going to affect the team as a whole? Do you think? I mean, since it's been a while since Tennessee has held that top spot, and these guys haven't. Guys that are playing right now haven't ever never held that top spot.
That's a great question.
You think that's going to have any kind of a like a rat poison as say we want to call it, and think they're better than what they are, and they beat Alabama. So there's a lot of things you can thump your chest about. But I think it's a little too early. You got to discipline yourself and not do that right now because you got a lot more season to go left. And
one thing that people have knocked on Hendon Hooker because of his age, because he's almost 25 years old. But the one thing that I've been most impressed with is that I think that helps him. He's the leader of that offense. He's the leader of that team. So he's going to keep them grounded. And when those things start going wrong, he's quick to get them together and say, hey, guys, this is what we need to do. In the Pittsburgh game, they should have lost that game, really. They're lucky to get out of there with a win. But Hooker was able to get things together and drive his team down the field, tie the game, and end up going into overtime and winning it. So I think the age, they have a lot of seniors on that team too. And everybody's like, well, they're a senior-laden team. That's why they're doing this. Well, this was the same team, same talent when they couldn't win 5 games. So, no, I don't think it's going to really get in their head like that because I think they're grounded enough to understand that the goal is to go. The goal isn't to be 8-0 and rank number 1 when the first poll comes out. The goal is to first win the East, and then the goal is to win the SEC, and then obviously win the whole Natty Championship, baby. That's what we're going for. It ain't going to be easy, and it hadn't been easy so far.
Yeah, and absolutely, it makes a difference if you have to have that some type of team leader to kind of fight through that adversity. I mean, like I was talking about before we brought you on, you got to be able to fight through that adversity to get some resiliency to come back and make a better play than mistakes and not make those mistakes again. Because I mean, Lord knows, you can't in this conference you can't make too many mistakes. You'll be done quickly.
Not one.
To your point, though, Kyle, I mean, you guys had the same thing with Stetson Bennett. Was he great last weekend? Has he been great? No, but the guy is so resilient, and he has that experience and that moxie. He already is 25. He's going to be – look, Hendon Hooker and Stetson Bennett are going to graduate with a Social Security check in their hand. I mean, it is what it is, but we love to have it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good similarity there. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think that the 8 I were picked by 8 probably because it's in Athens. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of surprised that we were picked by that much. To be honest with you, but it is a home game, so I mean, I don't know. I guess that's why they picked it. Or why it's so high.
Yeah.
So I want to see. Collin. I'm going to hand this back over to you. Thank you for holding it down while holding it down while I had to run check on some things. Yeah, I know, right? This is like that AT&T commercial. That AT&T commercial with Lily and LeBron. Are you coming from my job? So I'm gonna come back to you, sir. Georgia wins if. So this is a segment that we just started a couple of shows ago. We call blank wins if. So this is where we talk about these are the things that we 100% have to do in order to win this game. So, Collin, I'm going to let you get going first for what you think Georgia needs to do to win this game.
Well, number one, I think this is indicative of all teams. With playing against teams with quarterbacks as good as Hendon Hooker and Bryce Young and those types of people, you've got to make it. You get the defensive line's got to make it through the offensive line and get to the backfield. They got to make these quarterbacks hurry. Make some bad decisions. Maybe get out of the pocket before they want to. And not letting them make their checks and what have you. And we've got to learn. I mean, we've got to tackle. We've got to wrap up. We can't be bouncing off. And the number 3 thing is Hyatt. Find out where he is at all times on the field, and then make sure that he does not get behind you. I mean, that dude will get the ball and he'll be Katie bar door. So as long as we take care of all those things and we run the rock and we run the ball, I mean, I don't think honestly we should spend a whole lot of time passing the ball, but I mean maybe the maybe a little, dink doink, that kind of stuff. A little bit of a little side pass here and there, and maybe I don't see too many home run balls being thrown on our side of the field by Stetson, but I see us giving the ball to Edwards and giving the ball to McIntosh and Robinson and just keep running the ball. That's how we win the game.
Okay. All right. I was listening. Did you mention about the secondary being on point? I mean, the secondary's really got to be on point because I said they need to know where Hyatt is at all time. I mean, put it. Not just Hyatt. I mean, this
not
is
just him. No, don't get me wrong.
This is the first time that I think that I see a team where there's a uber legitimate threat at quarterback, where right off the gate, right out of the gate, I could see it first couple of plays from scrimmage, handing back, drop back in the pocket, and launch one. So that's a big thing there. But all great points, all excellent points. Thank you, sir. So Mr. Randy, we're gonna come to you. It is your turn. So the Volunteers win, if, and go.
All right, I got a couple different points I want to make. So the first thing that it's going to take is Tennessee winning the turnover battle. Tennessee is they're +8 in turnovers.
Doing the sound?
Do what?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It took a minute for apparently the feed was catching up. You were already it caught up. Go ahead.
Oh, good. So let me start back over, man. First thing we got to do: Tennessee wins if Tennessee wins the turnover battle. They're +8 in turnovers. I think that's first in the SEC. I might need to fact check that. But they're first in the SEC. Georgia's actually net 0 in turnovers this year. So I think Tennessee has an opportunity to turn the ball over. Now, some of that's been in the last couple of weeks. Georgia got a little sloppy with the ball, even in the third quarter of the Florida game. Do I expect that to happen? Probably not. But Tennessee has to win the turnover game. That's no different than a lot of road games, right? But especially against them. Also, score more than 30. Did you guys know that Georgia, I'm sure you did because you're Georgia Bulldog fans, Georgia is 62-4 when leading at halftime under Kirby Smart. They're only 11-10 when they're trailing at halftime. Big stat there. So score more than 30. So you're winning the turnover battle, score more than 30, get more than 400 yards. Obviously, Tennessee averages over 550 a game, not against Georgia's defense, though, so we haven't seen them yet. Georgia is 2-9 under Smart when allowing 30 or more points. So they're 3-8 when under Smart when allowing 400 or more yards to opponents. That's huge. So you got to get over 30, over 400 yards. Obviously, those could be keys to any game, but those are just some stats that I found around those points. And also, similar to LSU, although the Sanford Stadium is a whole nother beast, especially we're going to be 2:30 prime time, number 1 versus number 3 in CFP.
Sir.
Take the crowd out of the game early. And I say that because Tennessee averages 13.95 points in the first quarter alone. What they're able to do is take teams out of their rhythm early because, like I just saw in the comments, tempo kills. You score 2 touchdowns off the top, it's 14-0 before Georgia catches their breath. It's a different ball game. And then what Collin said, which is right, you want to go running the ball, and all of a sudden you can't because it's 17-0, and I got to go get a score, and I can't take 10 minutes to do it. Now, one more thing I want to say, and I've heard this said a lot this week, not that I disagree. Kentucky sort of had the same game plan, not the same team, I understand. Everybody says keep the ball out of Hendon Hooker's hands, keep him on the sideline. And in theory, that does make a lot of sense when you're talking about a tempo styles team. But 35 out of their 63 scoring drives are under 2 minutes. Last year in the Kentucky game, I pointed this out to a lot of Kentucky fans. They had the ball for 13 minutes and 40 seconds and put up 45 points. The offense is better this year than they were last year. So I think that it's kind of a pick your poison. Collin, you mentioned about Jalen Hyatt. I 100% agree. He's the one that's getting all the shine. One thing that got overshadowed last week was that their projected first-round draft pick, Cedric Tillman, came back at wide receiver. You have to respect him. Like Mr. Fingaz said over there, Tennessee's got a litany of receivers. They got 2 really good running backs. They're going to spread you sideline to sideline. They're going to be touching the out-of-bounds line on either side. So what I'm most excited about is that secondary versus the receiver matchup. And I heard Kirby say it earlier in the week. How do you stop it? Every defensive coordinator in the country is trying to figure out how to stop that offense, and he throws a new wrinkle into it here and there. So what I'm most excited about is seeing if Georgia's DBs and their linebackers, because we're going to try to create some mismatches there, can they keep up with the speed and open space? I think they're absolutely able to, but will they do it for 60 minutes? That's the question that nobody's been able to answer yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a huge.
Well, while
huge
we got you on, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, Collin. While we got you on a roll, and you mentioned Hendon Hooker, you mentioned Wyatt. So who are some of your other shining stars that are that really need to come to play on Saturday?
Cedric Tillman. I think it starts with him. He's still wide receiver number one. I understand Hyatt is the one getting the Heisman hype. It's all deserved. But Cedric Tillman was the number one receiver, will continue to be. Those guys are close, so they line up side by side a lot of times. On the defensive side, there's two people that are going to keep an eye on. Byron Young on the defensive line. He was a monster in the Kentucky game. He's a future NFL player. And Danico Slaughter. He recently moved from safety to cornerback. I think we saw him. He was able to jump some routes in the Kentucky game when we forced him to throw. I think they're going to be attempting to get Byron Young some pressure on Stetson Bennett, make him step up in the pocket, shorten up that time a little bit, make him throw some balls so guys like Danico Slaughter and Jalen McCullough can jump some routes. So there's no I could say the whole defense because they haven't been great all year, but Byron Young and Danico Slaughter are the keys to them performing against Georgia's offense, which people sleeping on Georgia's offense. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think the big thing is that I think the big thing with us is that sometimes Georgia does not score pretty, and sometimes they don't score often, and they don't really run the score up. I mean, there's only been 3-4 games where they ran the score. Opening game, Sanford, Vanderbilt,
Yeah.
Auburn, and Florida. So five. Well, damn, that's actually the majority of the games. Okay, maybe I misspoke on that.
That's what I mean. Even I was talking to a Georgia fan. He said the same thing. I don't know if our offense can keep up, but if you look down the lines, there's not a lot of difference between these two teams when it comes. Tennessee passes for 30 or 40 more yards a game. Georgia rushes for 10 or so more yards a game. They're both averaging over 200 yards a game on the ground and over like 320 in the air. Both of these offenses are phenomenal.
And they both quarterbacks are very mobile too. I mean, like Stetson's got wheels, so does Hendon Hooker. You know what I mean? Like you flush him out of the pocket, and you can't just say, "Oh, I flushed him out of the pocket, he's done." No, there's no way. He's gonna beat you with his feet.
You know what I love about that the most, Collin, though, is that both of them are mobile, but we're not going to ever mistake them as Michael Vick coming out of the pocket. They're very elusive. They're not very fast.
Right. So on our end, the secondary, you mentioned the secondary. That was kind of a concern for me, but I haven't been as worried about it this season because, we got Keely Ringo back, and last year was Keely's freshman year. We now have Smart back there. What that is not. Oh, Lord have mercy. Malik. Brain cramp. Help me out, Collin. Huh?
Malik Carter. It is Carter? Isn't it Carter? Hang on. What are you talking about?
I know Christopher Smith, though. No. The kid that caught oh my God. I just had a senior moment. He caught the big interception in the Oregon game.
Yeah, wasn't that Malik?
I'm feeling like a really bad Georgia fan right now. But y'all know who I'm talking about. Those three have managed to show up and show out very often. If you see a pass broken up in the back end of the secondary, it's one of the three of them. If you see a pass picked off, it's one of the three of them. And then of course we have Coach Carter back on the front lines. Now, granted, we would have liked to have had him and Nolan Smith together. But still, we got Coach Carter back on the front line, so he's going to be wrecking shop. I mean, one game back, and he made all the difference. I mean, he was flushing Richardson out of the pocket left, right, Sunday, the whole game. You also mentioned Kirby. We talked about Brock Bowers. But somebody we haven't talked about, Big O. O'Donnell Washington. That guy is like what is he? I think the funny thing about him is his statistics. I think it's like his vital statistic. They have him listed at like 6'5", and he's actually like 6'7" or whatever. You know how they do in wrestling. It's like now standing at 6'7", hailing from Jacksonville, Florida, and he's really like 5'9" from Oshkosh, B'gosh, Illinois. So, but that kid
got like a 42-inch vert.
Yeah, and he loves to hop over people, and he does not tackle very easy. He's not an easy tackle. So those are primary our key players. Now I'm not throwing Ladd McConkey under the bus, but Ladd has kind of stepped back after a couple of not so stellar performances and tried to recenter, and I saw it in the last couple of games. So we're hoping that he can show up and show up big as well. So those are the key
So I
players
kind
in the
of I
game.
got one thing to throw in there. So like Big O, talking about Big O and Brock Bowers. I kind of wish we would use like you were talking about your two receivers at Tennessee. You know, I mean, I wish they would actually run the two tight end type scheme.
Don't try that this week, though.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, it would be. We've never seen it. I don't think we've actually seen it. It's either Big O's getting the looks or Brock Bowers getting the looks. Like you've never see both of them same sentence or same.
You could run them like the Patriots did. Have Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski right there. Yeah, I don't want y'all to try that this week, though, Collin. Y'all save that wrinkle for later.
The Smash Brothers. Really?
Yeah, we don't want to see that.
Oh, but I'm special.
We pulling out all stops, man. We got Big Orange is coming for us. We got to be ready. Come on, man.
Isn't it so great, though? I don't mean to interrupt you, though. Isn't it so great that this game matters again? I mean, it's been 2016 since it really was competitive.
Yeah.
And both of us, we weren't in the top 5. Neither one of us, I don't think, in that game.
No.
Fun fact, I was remember when we beat y'all after was it 21 years or something, and it was in Athens in 2001. Remember that game?
Yeah.
I was at that game. I was one of the immediate swinging on the goalpost.
You know what? Live your best life, Collin. I love it, man. I ain't hate on anybody for tearing the goalpost down.
No. It was right down in the middle of Athens. But and when I saw you guys do that same thing, I was like, I've been there, and I feel what y'all are going through right now.
You caught yourself short. You caught yourself short of calling them stupid. You're like, what are they doing on that? Oh, wait a minute. I think I had done that one time before.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I had to see. What had happened was,
thank God they didn't have social media back then, Collin.
Oh,
no kidding,
dude.
Oh,
you know how many of all of us, there are people of a certain age that if social media existed in any form and fashion to the extent that it does today, I mean, there were like closest thing we had to social media was like the late 90s when the internet was, everybody was in the chat rooms like LLIM, Yahoo Chat, Black Planet. But that was about it. And then nothing really popped off until MySpace. And then MySpace is so limited in what it could do that, you couldn't post no videos on MySpace.
I had my top 8 friends, though. I had to keep them humble, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Bruh, how many friendships were started? How many friendships were started and stopped because of the top 8? How come I ain't in your top 8?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I used to just tell folks, look, because I was married to the ex-wife then. She was in the number 1 spot. I said, my wife is in the number 1 spot. The other 7 are at random. That's all. Well, you put me in your top. Go somewhere before you get your feelings hurt over where I put you on a doggone website. So, but none of that stuff existed. If that stuff existed anywhere to the extent it existed today, there would be so many of us that would be jobless.
Oh, no doubt. Just no doubt.
Jobless and canceled and everything else.
we wouldn't be on a podcast tonight talking about Tennessee, Georgia, probably.
Right.
Oh yeah, we would, but we would be on Yahoo that nobody visits talking about it. It would be us and our 6 followers.
MSN.com.
Yeah. So hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of you merry, wonderful people, if you are watching this show right now and under the sound of our voices and our handsome faces, fella, let's put the sexy mug on for everybody real quick. Okay, that's enough of that. Anyway, if you're watching this show, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Oh man, you cracked my phone. Don't do that. Thank you for tuning in this week in UGA football. Mr. Fingaz here, Collin P from the DMV right there, and that fella right there, our guest, Randy Jowers, University of Tennessee Vols fan and expert on all things Big Orange, including why exactly is it that Sandra Bullock couldn't wear that orange? Why was it that it wasn't in her color wheel?
Hey, man, I like Sandra Bullock up until that moment. I don't want to talk about it, man. She was one of my first crushes, man. Let's move on past this.
Okay, moving on. Anyway, we thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're kind of drawing a little close to the end of our show, but before we get into our next segment, we still can't go anywhere without showing some love to our sponsor, and I'm struggling to find the button. There it is. I know exactly where it is. 7 to 7 women watching the show says man has trouble finding a button. Go figure. Anyway, we're going to show some love to our sponsor if we didn't get canceled because of that last comment. We'll be right back.
You give me shit, dude.
That is our guy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. Sid Swinton. You saw him in the very long form video earlier of the Let's Talk Football family of shows. He is the co-host of Let's Talk Football in the Morning, our off-season Sunday show, Let's Talk Fantasy Football. He also does the football cards. If you love collecting those, that's the guy. Get at him. His handle on TikTok is at Squid Ribs Cards. He does polls several times a week on TikTok. Get at him today. Right now, well, not right now because you're watching us, but after you get, if you like football cards, go check him out after this is all over. So, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, it's just us. It's just us here. So, gentlemen, this is the part of the show where we, we kind of do that. Like I said, it's kind of like the little Jerry Springer thing. We just give our thoughts on some things that we might want to share with people to take with them through the week. It can be funny, it can be sad, things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2-minute warning. All right, we are back. So, as our guest of honor, Randy, we're going to let you go first on a 2-minute warning, sir.
So I don't know how it's supposed to go, but for my 2-minute warning, I just want to give a shout out to our Facebook group that Anthony and I are both a part of, the SEC Super Conference Facebook page. You mentioned it earlier. Go check us out. It's a pretty unique group, 23,000 members. Family friendly, no cursing, no simulated cursing, all that. You read the rules when you get there. That's not the point. But a lot of good chatter going on over there. We're also doing something over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be honoring veterans that our boy is going to be heading up. So do go check that out. And also, Vols by 50.
Really?
Oh,
really? That's how you go?
Wrong podcast? No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be a great game. But go Vols. I can't say y'all going to win, though. GBO, baby.
Well, I wouldn't expect it to go any other way. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I hope it's going to be a hell of a game. But I think you see what I'm sporting. The Athens versus the world. That's how we roll. So, yeah. So, Collin, your turn, sir.
In the spirit of our distinguished guest here, talking about football, man. Honestly, we're hyped up for this weekend by Georgia, Tennessee. Obviously, there's a rival there. I like to talk stuff and smack and banner this, that, and the other. But him being on our show, us hanging out and being on the SEC type podcasts and groups, that kind of stuff, is proof that we can all coexist. You guys. Yeah, all that banter and all that, ribbon and all that kind of stuff is all well and good. Just, have fun with it, but don't take it too serious. And definitely don't get physical. Don't threaten, that kind of stuff. Right? Too many times I see people getting way out of hand and just take it too far. And you're not getting paid by the university. You're not getting paid to play. You're not even playing. You're watching. You're a fan. So anyway, and Randy, I appreciate you being here, man. Enjoyed the mess out of talking to you, man. And I gotta say, go Dogs. I'm expecting a great game, and it's good to see you guys again. This is actually, like you said before, it's awesome to see it. Us two teams back up the top.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. So I guess it's on me here. I guess I'm gonna shut it all down. Marriage. I joke, but I am married. My wife came in the door earlier. This coming Friday, we are celebrating we're celebrating 11 years married. We've been together for 13 years. We met 13 and a half years ago. We're celebrating 11 years of wedded bliss. And we do try and still keep the romance in the marriage. And she just really she didn't really want nothing. She just wanted a kiss and to pass me a little love note. and that was about it. And
You gonna read it out loud?
Yeah, basically, it just seriously, it just says, "Hey, honey, I hope that you have a great show. I hope you and Collin have a great show. Let me know what you want for dinner. If there's anything that I need to order, let me know, and I'll order it for you." And she wrote it on the cutest little piece of paper, man. You won't even believe. See what she wrote it on.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
man.
was pretty good.
That was good. That was good.
Pretty good.
You know, I knew she wasn't being that nice to you. I knew this was all a lie.
Oh, my wife! No, my wife is actually my wife is actually very nice. I
inadvertently set it up with my cutesy little 2-minute warning. Everybody get along, and here comes. I set it up.
I look, bro. I had to reach because I saw you talking under the screen, and I was like, "Is he about to do the thing?" So I got mine over here so we could go at the same time. But yeah,
did you show Randy the one the DoorDash delivers on that episode?
Oh man, listen, it's a short video. I'll send you the link. We had that last year's game gave us 3 weeks worth of material.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I mean,
I actually changed my son's name to French's after that. It was Elijah.
Oh man, this is FCS mustard right here. This ain't even French's. This is great value. That's the Walmart brand.
That was too long of a name. I didn't want it to be like a hyphen in between.
Come on, man. You think you was gonna come on the show and we want to go at least get you with something, a golf ball, and then of course on top of all of that, for the last 3 weeks, as much as I've been coming on and clowning everybody, you thought I was safe. You thought you were safe. He's like, oh, bro, we done got almost to the 1 hour mark. He ain't even took one jab at me. Am I safe? Bow. No.
I should have known better. When you told me you spent some time in my city, I should have known. Like, oh no,
bruh. Yeah. So, listen, man. Appreciate you being a good sport, man. Listen, a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our guest from Tennessee, Mr. Randy Jowers. You can catch him at the SEC Power Conference. That's tomorrow night. The Power Hour is tomorrow night at what time, sir? 7:30?
7 Eastern time. 7 to 8.
7 to 8. That's 6 to 7 in the Central, and 5 to 6 in the Mountain, and 4 to 5 on the West Coast. And whatever time it is in Bora Bora, that's further out. I don't know exactly where that is. That's somewhere between Patagonia and Caucasia. I'm not exactly sure. But the map, that's not even a map. That just feels real nice. I feel like that feels nice. That's marvelous. Anyway, so appreciate you coming on the show, bro. Collin, man, as always, brother, always a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for watching. We may, you know what? No, we not. I got to do anniversary plan stuff on Thursday, and I'm gonna be out of pocket on Friday because I am off work. So we will see you guys again next Monday. We appreciate each and every one of you for watching. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit the like button and share it with your friends and say, look at these crazy fools. This dude was holding a mustard bottle. I don't even know what he was holding it for. Oh, he was interviewing a dude from Tennessee? That's funny. That's real funny right there. I thought I'd seen somebody do that before. Oh, that's when they was throwing the bottle. I don't even know why they was throwing the bottles for. Mustard is expensive. Why was they throwing mustard? They couldn't have thrown the packets. That's cheap, but those was free. You just get them from the concession
golf ball too. Did they throw golf balls into that too?
Titleist golf balls on top of that.
Expensive golf ball, not the cheap.
Let me throw the Pro V. Let me throw a Pro V.
Yeah, that's what I was like, hold up. Let me get down that field and get some of them.
Exactly. I put it in my pocket.
Were you there?
I was not. I was with an Ole Miss fan watching the game, though. It was quite entertaining. And, of course, his wife's, oh, look at that trash. I'm like, let me tell you a little story. Quick story, Mr. Fingaz. I was actually at a Tennessee Ole Miss basketball game the prior year. And that was when Tennessee was pretty good. They had Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, the whole deal. So Ole Miss was okay. They were pretty good. The game gets down to the wire. Tennessee wins on a controversial call. And what do you know? What do you think happened when the buzzer sounded? They covered the basketball court with trash. So when I start seeing all the Ole Miss fans last year that was dogging on my Tennessee faithful, which, by the way, it was embarrassing. They shouldn't have done it. But the point is that we all got a crazy, rabid fan base because it truly it does. It just means more in the SEC. And sometimes the ugly side comes out. But Ole Miss, you ain't innocent.
He pointed right in the camera, said it with his whole chest. The Miss, Miss, you not innocent. Say it with your chest. Miss, you not.
You heard what I said.
Till his mother tap back blue.
Yeah. Well,
You
look,
heard it
ladies
here
and gentlemen.
first. Lane
Yes,
Kiffin to
indeed.
Auburn.
Really? You think so?
You heard what I said. I said it with most of my chest.
Most just one. He
Deion
did like the Rock did when he show off. He just make the one peck dance. Anyway, that seems like a good place for us to sign off, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. We will see you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Before we go, you got to go first. So, Randy, before we get out of here, can we get a Go Big Orange out of you, sir?
Go Big Orange.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Randy from Tennessee, rooting for Tennessee with the Go Big Orange on behalf of myself and my co-host, Collin P. We are OUWT out. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.